With new COVID infections surging to record numbers just as students are returning from the winter holidays, school districts across the country are racing to respond to the situation. In Chicago today, classes were canceled after teachers and district administrators clashed over whether to keep the schools open. The Chicago Teachers Union announced late last night their vote to shift to remote learning, citing insufficient safety protocols. District officials, however, insisted that instruction be held in person and described the union's move to teach remotely as an, quote, illegal work stoppage. In response, the Chicago Teachers Union tweeted on Wednesday that they were, quote, being inundated with calls and emails this morning from educators who attempted to log into their platforms to connect with their students and teach remotely and safely, but are being locked out by Mayor Lightfoot. Joining me now to discuss the issue are my two guests, Sociologist of Education and writer Dr. Ewing, and Dixon Romeo. He is a school council member, a local school council member, and an organizer with the community group Not Me, We. Welcome to the show, both of you. Dixon, let me start with you as someone on the ground. What do you make of the decision to lock teachers out from remote learning platforms and insist that they teach in person?
I think it's disgraceful from our mayor, Lori Lightfoot, because what we've seen in schools, at the school, I'm at local school council, but also all across South Shore where we do community work, is that the schools do not have the adequate things in place to make sure that folks have the right testing and are safe, right? There was a school, Carnegie Elementary, a couple blocks from where I live, right, where a staff member died, right? And the community had to organize and work with the teachers union to actually get the school to actually do some things in place to have those remote classes. And then as soon as school came back today, right, most of the folks who showed up had tested for the virus and we ended up having a bunch of folks had to come home. So the fact that the mayor would, instead of trying to work with the teachers union to come up with something that makes the school safe, but instead is fighting that, and instead of having remote open, she actually closed schools, right, which is not something that the teachers union, that's something that she did.
Dixon, what would convince teachers that the district had done enough to make it safe to return to the classroom?
So the teachers that I've talked to at the schools I work with, what it would mean is an accurate threshold for what percentage of folks have the virus or what testing level would determine an option to move to remote, actually having, sanitation things in the school, masks in the school, all the proper ventilation stuff that's supposed to be in the school. A lot of that stuff was promised as late as last year, but if you go in these schools and you work with kids, you'll see the stuff isn't there, right? So it's those kind of things that we're being promised that we know need to be in place in school to make it safe, but aren't there.
Dr. Ewing, district officials argue that remote learning it's a disaster for students, both at the social level and at the academic level. What evidence supports that position?
So I want to make sure that we acknowledge that there are real costs to remote learning. There are many parents who don't love it. It's disruptive to work. Teachers don't love it. Students don't love it. But it's really a false choice to say that because there are so many flaws with remote learning, the only option is to send people to school under unsafe conditions. And that sets up a decision matrix that's just really unfair. We've seen, for example, LA Unified, which is a bigger school district than us, set in place these common sense metrics. The same metrics that all of us understand are the things we have to do in our everyday lives. So making sure that there are baseline tests that are accomplished before folks are coming back to school, setting up a weekly testing requirement, right? These are common sense things. And all of us in our personal lives understand that there are no good decisions, right? Whether it comes to visiting people for the holiday, visiting relatives who may be sick or unwell, scheduling surgeries, all of us are forced to make some really unpleasant decisions right now. And what the district and the mayor and Pedro Martinez have done is, rather than do what all of us have to do in our everyday lives, which is find compromises that, yes, are often not perfect, they have set this hard boundary that has led to students today in Chicago receiving zero instruction. And that was unnecessary.
Now, there's been a lot of debate around the country about the corporatization of schools and the lack of public oversight in the educational system. Does any of that play into this current standoff in Chicago?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's a lack of accountability. So in Chicago, we have mayoral control, which means that our mayor unilaterally appoints the person who runs our school district. That person is not called a superintendent, they're called a CEO. So if you want an example of how corporatization has even seeped into our language, there's an example for you. But there are very few options that parents and teachers and young people themselves have to use democratic outlets to govern our school system. And so, I'm very grateful. Candidly, I'm a former member of the Chicago Teachers Union, but just as a worker, as a person, as a Chicagoan, I'm grateful to see the union do what I think a lot of folks need to be doing in many professions, which is standing up and saying, we are putting people first, we are putting health first, we are putting science first. We see people in all kinds of professions, whether it's nurses, factory workers, grocery store folks, being put in these really unsafe scenarios because everybody's just tired of COVID. And just because we're tired of it and it's not fun and it's not economically beneficial doesn't mean that we make unsafe choices. And I think that kind of corporate logic that puts what's easy first instead of what's best for students and teachers and families first is really showing out here.
Dixon, do you believe the school district is responsive to the concerns of the community at all? Are they completely out of touch? What's the relationship there between them and the community?
I agree with Dr. Ewing. I think none of this is for the benefit of actual community members. As a community organizer, right, I work with folks, I do housing organizing, right? And the kids who are coming home from school are living in the home with their mom or their grandmother is an essential worker. She works at, University of Chicago Hospital or some of the hospitals next to us. And so when we're talking about the connection between COVID and how that comes back to the home and the community, it's very clearly there. These are the same people, the same essential workers that sending their kids to school that doesn't have the mitigations in place to keep them safe, that then comes home and spreads the virus, right? Which is why you see the higher percentages of the virus in Black neighborhoods on the south and west sides of the city because of this, right? And instead of giving more support to those essential workers and giving more support to these communities, increasing the testing, we see the city actually blocking it, right? CTU tried to do COVID testing at Park Manor Elementary, which is on the south side in Greater Grand Crossing, right next to South Shore. And the city denied that vendor into the building to do the testing, right? So this isn't something, the city is not actually acting in the best interest of trying to help the community. This is about political power.
Dr. Ewing, other cities are debating whether to stay open or to go remote. Chicago is an interesting case, but these conversations and these cases are going to play out in different ways around the country. How do you think it's going to play out in these major cities?
That's a great question, Mark. I think so much of this comes down to the type of work that Dixon does, which is relationship building work. So what's best in Chicago might not be what's best in a rural district somewhere else, right? Things vary regionally, things vary by family, right? I've spoken with some parents who say, please, I don't care, get my kid out of my house. And I speak to other parents who say, that really doesn't feel safe for me right now. I have elderly folks at home. I have disabled folks at home, right? I can't have the kids bringing COVID home. And so I think what this really comes down to is how do we build school districts that have strong relationships and that are responsive to communities. And what we're seeing right now, unfortunately, in Chicago is political leadership taking this as an opportunity to engage in gamesmanship and playing around with our lives, with our kids' lives, rather than really having an open door to say, let's try to work something out. And the other thing that's really unfortunate, Mark, is that this doesn't have to be an issue of money. And so like many other districts and many other cities, Chicago received a pretty significant infusion of federal cash. And unfortunately, from the government that was supposed to support exactly these types of things, getting PPE to teachers, getting other protective measures in place. And we spent a lot of that money on the policing and on expanding policing. And so, all of these things are connected. Our students are also children in our community. Our teachers are also members of our community. They're also parents themselves. And as long as we keep setting these hard and fast boundaries instead of listening to each other, we're really going to be spinning our wheels because this virus is not going away.
Dixon Romeo, Dr. Ewing, thank you both for joining me on Black News tonight and sharing your powerful, powerful insights.